Welcome to our live broadcast from the Sandy River Delta. This is Sam Ehrman. I use he, him pronouns. We're here celebrating Oregon Arbor Day, which is part of the newly declared Oregon Arbor Month. And we're going to talk, kind of all things trees and community about Friends of Trees. We'll be talking about some fun projects that we've done out here that are really ecologically interesting. And in particular, our climate adaptive plantings that we're doing. I'm really close to the highway here. So bear with me if there's some background noise. I'll try to talk as loud as I can. And everyone's masked up in this park, so I'm going to wear my mask. And so that's kind of how this will go. And so thank you all for tuning in. I'm just holding on for 1 second to let people join. While you're waiting, happy Oregon Arbor Day. We love trees, obviously, and we're so excited to have the opportunity to celebrate them, not only today, but all month, as it's Oregon Arbor Month, and then we have the National Arbor Day as well. So honestly, we couldn't be more happy. This is one of those, some of our favorite time here at Friends of Trees to celebrate, Oregon Arbor Day, Oregon Arbor Month, Earth Month, Arbor Day, and Earth Day is incredible. Obviously we're organizing tree plantings with you all year round, but it's nice to have kind of a month of recognition to talk about our work and highlight some cool projects that we've done. And so, to reintroduce myself, my name is Sam Ehrman. I use he, him pronouns, and I am at the Sandy River Delta, which is a really amazing site. A lot of you might know it as like the 1,000-acre park. It's a very popular place to take your dogs. It is Saturday morning, so we will see a lot of dogs coming in and out of the park here. And so, maybe we'll see some cute dogs as well. Tree watching, dog watching, what could be better on Oregon Arbor Day? So thank you. And I guess without further ado, we'll get started. So we are at the Sandy River Delta. It is the confluence of the Sandy River and the Columbia River. And we're in this really unique ecological zone because we are just to the west of the Columbia River Gorge. We're right beside the lower Columbia. Mount Hood is just to the east. And all of those places kind of come together at the Sandy River Delta. Let me flip around just to show you. I'm right near the entrance if you're familiar. And what we're looking at, this kind of old structure here, is a corral. So I'll get me in so you can kind of see my face in this as well. So a bit of background about the Sandy River Delta. This was once long ago, obviously, an incredible natural area with huge ecological significance, being kind of the confluence of these two major rivers and having all of the unique, ecological features at play of the Columbia River Gorge and the lower Columbia and the Sandy River and everything else. In modern time, this was an industrial zone, and then it was turned into a place where cattle were grazing. And through that cattle grazing, a lot of these invasive weeds, let's say blackberry, Himalayan blackberry, and others, were kind of like eaten and chomped down, trotted over by cattle. And it really kept them at bay. So for a long time, this looked like a big grassland. And then in the 90s, when those cattle were removed, it led way to all of these invasive plants coming and kind of taking over. And so there's been a lot of ecological restoration happening over here over the past, let's say, 30 years or so. And actually right behind me, I am really fortunate in that in my previous career, I was an ecological restoration contractor and spent a lot of time out here, doing work, planting, invasive species removal, a lot that we are also doing, with volunteers here at Friends of Trees. And this tree line, you can see all these cottonwoods behind me, just where all these tree lines are. That was all, as recent as 8 years ago, like 10-foot tall blackberry. You really couldn't walk in there. And through some really intense blackberry removal and other types of removal, Scotch broom and all types of stuff that doesn't allow for our native plants to grow. This whole area was kind of just like really chock full of those invasive weeds. So with some removal, this is an incredible success story in that there is, this understory behind me is just teeming with native plants, mostly snowberry and which is incredible. When they start leafing out, it's like a sea of snowberry. Or when they fruit, which is like they hold onto their fruit kind of like late fall, when a lot of other plants drop their leaves. You just see it's like a sea of these little white snowberries, and it provides incredible forage for birds and other wildlife that don't have other types of food throughout that time. So it's really incredible, and I just am so passionate about the work that's been done out here, and fortunate to have been a part of it, both in past careers and current. Thank you all to all of our Friends of Trees volunteers and staff and partners for doing so much incredible work out here. It's incredible. So for those of you just tuning in, my name is Sam Ehrman. I use he, him pronouns. I'm here at the Sandy River Delta, which is the confluence of the Sandy River and the Columbia, just east of Troutdale in Gresham. And it's an incredible site. It's really ecologically significant. There's a lot of amazing, plants that have grown here. Some really rare plants like Nelson's checker mellow. And I believe it's one of the only places in Oregon where the golden paintbrush was like historically found. So it's has a lot of ecological significance. It was then turned industrial and then agricultural, and it was a grazing site. And so since those cows have been lifted, it's really led way for invasives, and there's been a lot of work to remove that. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Quick catch up. So right now we're going to talk about some climate adaptive planting. So this is a really unique site for a lot of reasons. It's so windy. So the wind out of the gorge, which is just right behind me, I'm pointing east, comes through here and just like, it is a really harsh growing condition. This is also being the confluence of the two rivers, a really sandy site. So those soils, sand, obviously dries out really quickly. So that water permeates and then drops quickly, and then there's not that much moisture that is held in the soil, allowing for plants to grow. So on top of those just challenging conditions in general, we're facing a changing climate. As you know. So that means harsher weather events, extreme highs, extreme lows. And with that, it's just exacerbating the unique situation where we're here in this open area that's windy and dry. And so because of that, we have started doing these plantings in partnership with the Sandy River Watershed Council. And if you all are familiar with our Threes for Trees program, which is with the Portland Trailblazers and Daimler Trucks North America, this is where we're planting those 3 trees for every 3 points scored. So it's a really amazing place. There's a lot of people that have their hands in this site. It's huge. It's thousands of acres. It's a Forest Service site. But like I said, there's a lot of people that are involved. And we work with, like I said, Sandy River Watershed Council, Ash Creek Forest Management, And, you know, we have some partners that really support us in our work, you know, Diamond Trucks North America and the Trailblazers. So what I want to look at is some of these climate adaptive plantings. And, you know, the trees that we're going to look at are a little odd for this area. Like, they are all native to Oregon, but they grow in drier places than we usually find, like in the gorge or other places, just because of these conditions. And what you'll see is they're doing pretty well. And so I'm going to flip around and just look at some of these plantings, you know, along this fence line. So we're right on 84, and you can see there's some Ponderosa Pine. You might be thinking to yourself, like, Ponderosa Pine, that doesn't grow here. This is actually a Willamette Valley species, which is native to the valley, which is just south of here. And because it's just south of here and it's drier, you know, we thought, and warmer, we were like, let's plant these here. So let's take a look. It's doing really well. And, you know, Ponderosa Pine has that really distinctive bark, and it has these needles, these long needles. And it's really cool. You know, you see them a lot in like Eastern Oregon, and other places. And like I said, into the valley, they're an incredible, resilient tree. They are have proven to be really adaptive to dry weather, to wet weather, and I really think that it's something that we're gonna see planted and thriving in a changing climate. And it's just really cool because it is from this place, but it's not necessarily from this exact place, which is the Sandy River Delta. So it's kind of new here, but it's not new to the Willamette Valley. And it's doing really well with all of these factors that make it kind of challenging to grow. And the other thing that we're not talking about here is this is the Sandy River Delta, which is also, a lot of people call it like the 1,000-acre dog park. You know, there are packs of dogs that come out here. It's really a place where a lot of people will bring their dogs and run around. And as a dog owner myself, like I do as well. But it you know, just having that many animals and their waste and everything, like, kind of provides an additional challenge for, you know, restoring this place and growing trees and shrubs and herbaceous plants and everything else. But so as you can see, like, all of that said, like, this is doing really well. And this is probably planted like 2 years ago or so. This is part of our Threes for Trees planting with Diamond Trucks North America and the Portland Trailblazers. You can see we have some Oregon Grape that is, you know, found here and is not really introduced at all. But something else is this Incense Cedar. Let me crouch down so we can see it. This Incense Cedar. Oh, you're getting a picture of my gimbal. A little behind the scenes here. This Incense Cedar is also doing really well. You know, it's something else that's not found here necessarily, but is just south of here, and with the changing climate, you know, is doing well. And so that's you know, kind of a highlight of some of these plants that are doing great. You know, we have other plants that are growing really well that are super native to here, and in this place, and that's like Snowberry, which is right here. Let me flip this around so we can see better. This Snowberry. So all these trees are bare root trees, so they go in pretty small. Snowberry, you know, you can see it has these opposite leaves. They'll produce these white berries that I mentioned this before, but they produce these white berries that actually hold on much later than a lot of other berries and provide really important forage for birds and wildlife. And so that's a really amazing thing about the Sandy River Delta is there, you know, it's an incredible place to go birding. Even though I'm right by the highway, so you might not believe me. Deeper in the park, you know, it's incredible, but year round, like, it is such an important place for wildlife, and is such critical habitat for plants as well. And so, like I said before, some really rare plants like Nelson's checker mellow and golden paintbrush golden paintbrush, this is like one of the few places where it was found in Oregon that we know of. And Nelson checker mallow is not that rare, but it is rare, and not that rare, I mean not as rare as golden paintbrush, but it is extremely rare, and it also grows here. So it is such an important place, and something to think about when coming here. Like I recreate here as a dog owner, but it's just incredible to think about kind of like the ecological significance of this place. And we're here celebrating Oregon Arbor Day, which is part of the newly declared Oregon Arbor Month, which is a recent declaration by Kate Brown, Governor Kate Brown, which, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Obviously we celebrate trees all year round, trees and community. So we're all about planting trees and growing community in the process. But we love to have this month to kind of brag about all the work we're doing and talk trees and celebrate all this, especially in a time like, that we're living through. So another big piece of this is all month long, we're going to provide content, tree viewing content, tree educational content. We have some amazing special guests. And really, like, we just want to provide an opportunity to also like get out and view trees and learn about trees. And especially if you're unable to get outside or due to the pandemic or other reasons, viewing trees is like incredibly important. It's being found that it reduces stress and boosts immune system function and all these things that I have leaned on so hard over the past year. And so Oregon Arbor Day, Oregon Arbor Month is such an important time to celebrate that and celebrate the fact that these trees are giving us life. Literally, figuratively, they are just like keeping us healthy and providing, producing oxygen, producing forage for wildlife, filtering our water, providing erosion control, so much. And so if you're driven by this and you're feeling like you want to support trees and community on this Oregon Arbor Day and Oregon Arbor Month and Earth Month and National Arbor Day, Earth Day, we have a match right now. So if you go to the donation page of our website and make a gift, your match your gift will be matched. So it's an incredible time to make a really big difference and actually multiply your impact, if that is how you want to celebrate. We also love you celebrating just tuning in and chatting trees with us. It's something that we really love, and we'll continue to bring this kind of content to you. So that is kind of our climate adaptive planting. We have some additional planting sites that I'm just gonna show you, and this is kind of the reality of doing this kind of restoration planting in such a highly trafficked public place, and also a place that is like such a dry, sandy zone. And if you're just tuning in, this is the confluence of the Columbia River and the Sandy River. We're at the Sandy River Delta, which is just west of Troutdale, and it's a really unique ecological zone because the Columbia River Gorge is to our east. The Lower Columbia is right here, and Mount Hood is just the east. So it's like it's this place is on the edge of all of those places. It's truly unique, and there's been so much restoration done here. So I just love kind of walking around and chatting. And so I'm gonna flip around. Let's just look at a planting site. And this is a continuation of our climate adaptive planting, so you'll see a lot of the same species. This is a much higher trodden zone with people and dogs and everything else. So you'll see there is some die off, but there's also a lot of growth and a lot of health. So let's see what we can see. And so you can see here's another incense cedar. Something else it grows just south of here. And does well. So this is like a drier plant, hardy. You can see we have another Willamette Valley Ponderosa Pine, which is doing really well. And then right here is actually the historic corral from this from when this was a like a ranch, I guess, or there was livestock here. Here's more Willamette Valley Ponderosa Pine, which is an incredibly hardy species that is native to the Willamette Valley. It is drought tolerant. It is wet. It is like wet tolerant. And I think we're gonna see it doing really well. You'll see more of it. You know, historically, it is here. It's just south of here, but it's not necessarily. We haven't seen it at the Sandy River Delta, and it's doing really good. And it's kind of being planted all over the valley and beyond. This right here is well, if you're ever out here at the Sandy River Delta, maybe you bring your dogs here, maybe you come out to recreate. It's owned by the Forest Service. It's a very cool kind of area. And so that's basically what I want to talk about today. I wanted to talk about mostly just Oregon Arbor Day and celebrate with you and give you an opportunity to look at trees and chat about ecological restoration, and just kind of join you on your Saturday morning. You'll see, I'm going to flip around. This is such a highly used zone that you will see there's so many dogs. Sorry, I'm just having some equipment issues here, so bear with me. Here we go. You see there's a whole lot of people out here, and this park goes on and on. What we're looking at, we're basically focused right on where the Columbia River is, and right behind me is the Sandy River, and this is where the Sandy meets the Columbia. So it's this really unique site, and it really provides a big gathering place for dogs and people, and but beyond that, like that may be how you use it, or a lot of people use it. It's often the introduction to this place, but it is so ecologically significant, and there are some really rare plants that this is the only place that golden paintbrush has been was found in Oregon. It is no longer here, but there are plans, I believe, to reintroduce. And Nelson's checker mallow, another rare native plant, has also, can grow here and has grown here in the past. So it's ecologically really significant. And as you can see, there's a lot of people that are out here using this place. And so it's a really valuable park that we have, owned by the Forest Service. But restoration is being done by a whole bunch of people. The Sandy River Watershed Council, Friends of Trees, Ash Creek Forest Management, Arbor Day. There are a lot of players here, and we're just so grateful to be a part of it. And that's kind of it. So happy Oregon Arbor Day, happy Oregon Arbor Month. Like I said, if you want to celebrate with us, thank you so much. Tuning in is wonderful, and if you're driven to make a gift, our donations are being matched all month long to double your impact. So if you go to our website and go to our donation page, our donations are matched all month long, and those donations plant trees and build community in places like this, in places like the Sandy River Delta. And so thank you so much. We truly cannot do this work without you. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to chat Sandy River Delta and native plants and ecological restoration. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I guess also dogs. So look at all these dogs. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you tuning in. Happy Oregon Arbor Day, and I hope to see you soon.